This is your News Source Evening Bulletin for today, Tuesday, the 31st day of March in the year 2020. I'm Gordon Mosley. Here is what we're tracking tonight. Guyana has recorded the second death of a patient with complications from the coronavirus. The man, who was 38 years old, passed away this morning in the coronavirus intensive care unit. He was one of the two persons who was recently moved to the unit after testing positive for the coronavirus. News Source understands that he was initially admitted to the hospital for another ailment, but later tested positive for the coronavirus as he started to show symptoms of the disease. Once that positive test returned, he was admitted to isolation. However, as his health deteriorated and he started to encounter breathing problems, he was moved to the coronavirus ICU. It is unclear whether he had any direct contact with any of the other patients before testing positive. He worked in the medical field and managed a healthcare company. The Pan American Health Organization is projecting that Guyana could see as many as 1,400 cases of the coronavirus. Guyana recorded its first case of the coronavirus on the 11th of March. Health officials in Guyana continue to encourage citizens to practice social distancing and follow the guidelines of the Public Health Ministry in the fight against the coronavirus.
Please continue to adhere to the advisories such as social distancing, coughing etiquette, and hand washing, since this can take us a long way in this fight against COVID-19.
Meanwhile, within a matter of 24 hours, the number of positive cases of the coronavirus in Guyana jumped from 8 to 12, with that second death being recorded. Deputy Chief Medical Officer Dr. Karen Boyle, in providing the Ministry of Public Health's update this afternoon, confirmed the death of a second patient from the coronavirus.
In Guyana, as of yesterday, 30th of March 2020, we have moved from 8 to 12 confirmed cases and one probable case. Our deaths have moved from 1 to 2.
Dr. Boyle revealed that there is now only one patient in that unit and the other 9 cases are in isolation at the medical facility. She did not provide details of the additional cases.
The number of persons in institutional quarantine is now 43. Of the 11 persons in isolation, one is hospitalized in the COVID-19 ICU unit.
The Deputy Chief Medical Officer also reported that another man who died over the weekend at the Western Marara Hospital did not die from the coronavirus and had not tested positive for the coronavirus.
Fellow Guyanese, I wish to clarify the issue surrounding the death of the patient in Region 3. This patient did not, and I repeat, did not contract the coronavirus disease, nor did he die from COVID-19 as is being alleged. His death was as a result of his underlying conditions. Hence, I'm making an appeal to those persons stigmatizing the family to desist from this practice and not indulge in fake news.
Although there is no links between the two persons who died, the second patient also worked in the health field and have other family members working in the health field also. More news coming up in a moment.
GBTI is your Guyanese bank, a bank that understands every customer's unique needs, opportunities, challenges, and financial concerns. At GBTI, we see you for you. Whether you're buying a new home or car, planning your next vacation or retirement, saving for your child's future, or whether you're ready to take that bold step of investing in your dream business idea, we are with you every step of the way. We hear your stories and watch you focus on your dreams as we share your aspirations. We are more than just banking. We are a family. We are part of your community. Our commitment extends way beyond the walls of our branches and is demonstrated every day in the opportunities we provide to our individual and business customers. The support, time, and commitment we give back to communities across Guyana to help improve the lives of our Guyanese families. Because we see Guyana through your eyes.
Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Fuel it up and drive, Super 95. Tune up. Protect your fuel system, boy. High mileage and performance, boy.
Guy Super 95 gasoline gives you more reasons to drive and is available at 56 service stations nationwide. For affordable price, high performance, and high mileage, choose Guy's Super 95 gasoline.
Fuel it up and drive!
Tired of long lines? Register with MyGTT at mygtt.co.gy. That's mygtt.co.gy to view and pay your bills from anywhere. Enter to win an Amazon gift card worth $25 or a bounty voucher worth 5,000 Guyana dollars when you sign up today. GTT, do more.
The following is an important message from the Ministry of Public Health. You can prevent the spread of the COVID-19 virus. If you have the following symptoms: coughing, fever, or difficulty breathing, please stay home. If you don't have these symptoms, then practice social distancing. Avoid crowds. When in a group, keep a distance of at least 3 feet between yourself and other persons. Please wash your hands with soap regularly or use hand sanitizers. The Ministry of Public Health has a hotline to provide information on the coronavirus. Members of the public can call 227-4986 or 624-3067.
Welcome back. Following the death of a second coronavirus patient at the Georgetown Hospital this morning, the Director of Medical and Professional Services, Dr. Fawcett Jaffrey, is urging staff to follow all precautions against the disease. In a memo to all the heads of department this morning, Dr. Jaffrey revealed that there are currently 3 patients in isolation at the hospital. 2 of those patients have tested positive for the coronavirus, while the third was awaiting a result. He told the heads of departments that they should follow all necessary precautions and use a face mask when appropriate, since they expect a surge in the number of patients that will visit the Georgetown Hospital in the coming weeks. The Director of Medical Services also revealed that a coronavirus patient who passed away this morning succumbed after repeated attempts to resuscitate him failed. The Georgetown Public Hospital is one of the sites that have been established for the quarantine and isolation of coronavirus patients. A special intensive care unit has been set up at the hospital for those victims who become critically ill. Just yesterday, the Chief Executive Officer of the Georgetown Hospital, retired Brigadier George Lewis, spoke about some of the preparations at the Georgetown Hospital for the coronavirus. The number of positive cases in Guyana now stands at 12. Let's tell you now that the full court consisting of Chief Justice Roxanne George and Justice Naresh Harnanan ruled today that the court has no jurisdiction to hear the case against the vote recount and has therefore dismissed the injunctions that block the recount. The decision by the full court will now result in Justice Franklin Holder no longer hearing the matter. The full court judges said the matters contained in Moore's application are best suited for an election petition. The action before Justice Holder was filed by APNU AFC candidate Yulita Moore. Temporary injunctions were initially granted, blocking the recount until a determination of the issues that she raised through her lawyers. The PPP objected to the case being heard by Justice Holder, and when he ruled that he did have jurisdiction to hear the matter, the PPP moved to file an appeal, resulting in the full court's involvement and decision today.
You heard the ruling today, and essentially the judges of the full court upheld all of our submissions, that you can only question the decisions of the Guyana Elections Commission by way of an elections petition. The High Court cannot do so in any other type of proceedings. As a result, the judges of the full court discharged the injunctions that were granted by Justice Holder and dismissed the matter completely. Also significantly, applications were made for leave to appeal and a stay of execution of the full court's order of dismissal that obviously could not have been granted and were not granted, for the simple reason being that if the court didn't have jurisdiction to entertain the matter in the first place, the court could not have had jurisdiction to grant leave the High Court in these proceedings.
With the injunctions dismissed, the Guyana Elections Commission will now have to decide on the recount of votes and when the process could get underway, barring any other court action.
Now that the way has been cleared, we expect that GCOM will now take up the mantle, and the commitment that the chairperson of GCOM gave publicly, gave to several courts, including Justice Holder Court, in her written submissions, that a recount already decided upon by GCOM will now be carried out.
Monday marked 4 weeks since Guyanese voted at the elections. There still has been no final declaration. In the High Court this afternoon, Justice Franklin Holder ruled that his court does not have jurisdiction to hear an application by PPP General Secretary Barrett Jagdeo to throw out the declaration of results made by the Region 4 Returning Officer Clement Mingo. Justice Holder ruled that the matter may be best dealt with in an election petition, and therefore the matter is dismissed. Senior Counsel Neil Boston, who represented the interest of the Chief Elections Officer, said the decision by Justice Holder has now cleared the way for the Chief Elections Officer to compile his final report on the declarations by the 10 returning officers and submit that report to the Elections Commission.
The CEO will have to decide the Commission will have to decide what they will do, whether they will consider the report sent to them by Mingo and then declare the president, and who is the winner, they will have to do that.
The ruling by Justice Holder on that matter came just moments after the full court also ruled that the High Court did not have jurisdiction to hear the matter placed before it by APNU AFC candidate Yulita Moore. Mr. Jagdeo's attorney Anil Nandlal said the full court had earlier threw out the injunctions in the recount matter, and therefore that process should continue.
Suddenly, Justice Holder departed from all those authorities and ruled that he had no power to do so, that you must do so by election petition. When Justice George heard all those arguments and said, look, that the Elections Commission is different from the returning officer. The Elections Commission is made up of the commissioner and the chairman. The returning officer is an ordinary public officer within the electoral process, and therefore such an officer obviously is subject to judicial review.
Both courts recognize the independence of the Guyana Elections Commission to address the matters related to the elections. Let's tell you now that GTT announced this afternoon that it will close all of its stores in Guyana from tomorrow Wednesday until further notice. The move is part of the company's continuing efforts to ensure the health and safety of its customers and staff amidst the growing threat from the coronavirus pandemic. The CEO for GTT, Justin Ned, said measures were being put in place to ensure that staff would be retained during the closure, and every effort would be made to accommodate customers through alternative bill payment and customer service options, including the use of the company's Mobile Money Guyana app. He said the decision to temporarily close all GTT stores had been taken in support of the social distancing protocol recommended by global health authorities as the best way to slow the spread and protect people from COVID-19. Customers are being encouraged to visit the GTT website for a comprehensive list of agents for its mobile money service. 2 men were arrested on Monday after police ranks busted them with over 100 pounds of marijuana in a wooden vessel. The compressed marijuana was found in 24 large parcels that were stashed in the vessel. The police ranks received information about the movement of the marijuana and moved in as the vessel traversed the Kanji Creek at around 9:30 last night. The 2 men who have been arrested are from the Sandhills area in the Berbice River. They are assisting with the investigations. Across the Region is coming up next.
Wondering how you can access free learning materials for your children? Parents and guardians, please visit the Ministry of Education's website at www.education.gov.gy to access textbooks, past papers, and practice tests to keep your child engaged in continuous learning. When you have accessed the site, go to the Students tab, wait for a second, and choose the appropriate option. You now have access to the resources you need. You are encouraged to take advantage of this opportunity as we strive to provide the best education for the nation's children. A message from the Ministry of Education.
They've made a positive impact on the heavy-duty transportation industry in Guyana since they've arrived. Guyanese are amazed at their power, durability, efficiency, and superior handling capabilities. These are brand new trucks, manufactured in partnership with German, Italian, and French companies. They have a powerful reputation for operating under very adverse Guyanese conditions and come with full after-sales service and spare parts. They're the most sought-after trucks today, with over 500 units in Guyana, and they're available in over 100 countries, including South America and the Caribbean. Be smart. Buy brand new ST Howo trucks today. Call 608-4998 and arrange for an inspection at ST Truck Guyana Incorporated, Block B, Public Road, Covenant, East Bank, Demerara.
We are legions of men standing strong, but never too proud to stoop and help someone. We must send a clear signal to all. Do right. Walk in upright ways, knowing that's what being a man is all about. And ever wear that things will only get worse when good men do nothing. Stand strong. Be the one to live right.
Falls, a trademark of China's Zhanghao Incorporated, located at Land of Cane and East Bank, Demerara, was incorporated in April of 2013 with over $10 billion Guyana invested in a state-of-the-art 100,000-barrel fuel storage facility, a modern service station, an office complex, and a modern wharf that can berth international vessels. Having no association with any other fuel company, Falls imports its own fuel, which meets quality specifications, has all the legal permits, and is in compliance with international requirements. Its bulk facility can load 8 trucks simultaneously at a rate of 1,000 liters per minute, while the service station can service 12 cars at a time using computerized fuel pumps, which can facilitate the use of ATM cards. Through its professional team of mostly Guyanese, Falls wholesales and retails fuels to the public, including farmers and miners, and will continue to positively contribute to Guyana by providing quality products, service, and attractive prices. Try Falls today for all your fuel needs.
Are you washing your hands correctly? Here are some tips on when and how to wash your hands. Step 1. Wet your hands with clean water. Step 2. Then apply soap. Step 3. For 10 to 15 seconds, lather your palms together. Always remember to pay attention to your fingers, especially your nails and tips. And don't forget the back and between of your fingers. Step 4. Rinse hands with clean water for about 20 seconds. Step 5. Dry hands with a clean paper towel or tissue.
But when should you wash your hands? After using the toilet, before and after eating, preparing or handling uncooked food, after playing with pets or caring for animals, after sneezing and coughing or blowing your nose, before and after changing babies or caring for others.
Frequent hand washing or using a hand sanitizer with alcohol as an alternative will remove viruses and bacteria from your hands.
A message from the Ministry of Public Health in collaboration with PAHO WHO.
Across the region right now, the Jamaica government said with effect from today, retailers found to be charging customers excessive prices for goods during the novel coronavirus pandemic can be fined up to $2 million Jamaican dollars or sentenced to 2 years in prison. Both the House of Representatives and the Senate have approved the trade sale of goods during period of declaration of disaster order 2020 as a means of stamping out recent cases of price gouging stemming from the COVID-19 crisis. Under the order, no person whose business includes the retail sale of goods shall sell any necessary goods to another person at a price higher than the price charged immediately before the coming into force of the Disaster Risk Management Order 2020. While the U.S. has offered to lift crippling sanctions against Venezuela if its leaders agree to a power-sharing deal. Under the U.S. plan, Venezuela's left-wing President Nicolas Maduro would step aside and the Transitional Council would govern until fresh elections. The U.S. imposed its latest round of sweeping sanctions against Venezuela last year in an attempt to force Mr. Maduro to step down. However, Mr. Maduro has so far resisted all attempts to remove him from power. He is backed by Venezuela's military as well as Russia, China, and Cuba. Less than a week ago, the U.S. took a tougher line with President Maduro, charging him and other senior officials with narco-terrorism. Venezuela has been mired in a political and economic crisis for years. Inflation hit 800,000% last year, and 4.8 million people have fled the country. And finally tonight, international news. France has recorded 499 new hospital deaths from the coronavirus in the last 24 hours, bringing the total to 3,523, its Director of Health announced. This is the highest daily rise in such deaths since the outbreak began. Health Agency Director Jerome Solomon told a news conference that the number of cases had risen to 52,128 from 44,550 in the same period. He said a total of 5,565 patients had been placed in intensive care, a rise of 588 in 24 hours. France is one of 5 countries, including the US, China, Italy, and Spain, to have surpassed the threshold of 3,000 deaths. And that is your News Source Evening Bulletin for tonight. I'm Gordon Mosley, reporting.